Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the Arizona Attorney General investigation of the fake electors there. And it is really heating up, including with a maneuver I've never seen before that probably will be challenged, but I think is probably legit. Okay, first, these electors, they're as bad as they come. They just flat out represent, we are the legitimate electors of the state, flat out lie. So all the things that ensue about the fraud and the attempt to unlawfully influence the election, there is at least one state, Pennsylvania, where the electors tried to hedge. And guys like Chesbro have tried to say, well, I was only giving advice in case the courts found against that this was permissible, but that can't possibly fly with them. They're flat out, we are the electors, and everything that goes from there. And they're actually worse because they carry on this vocal campaign to tell Pence to accept them or accept nobody. They are as flagrant offenders as any phony electors in the country. And, this is going on in 5 or 6 states, depending on how you count. Now, what is really noteworthy and kind of incendiary is the Attorney General of Arizona, a Democrat, has really made this investigation active. And the procedure in Arizona is no different from in other states. And it really, let me tell you how it would go in the federal system and how it normally would go in Arizona. You determine that someone is a target. That means basically you have a subjective intention, unless they talk you out of it or the grand jury out of it, to indict them. And at a certain point, you're honor bound to tell a defense attorney your guy is a target. And at that point, you can invite them to testify in the grand jury. Maybe they want to talk their way out of it. Karl Rove did that successfully, but in almost every case, what will happen next is the defendant will say, if I go to the grand jury, I'm going to assert my Fifth Amendment rights. And it's completely routine in the federal system. And as best I can tell from this story, actually, across the country, that at that when you reach that crossroads, the prosecutor says, okay, your guy doesn't have to show up just to say, I plead the Fifth. If they're going to plead the Fifth, you don't call them in front of the grand jury. Of course, they're a target and they're probably going to get indicted, but you don't make them go through the academic in a sense and sort of theatrical in another sense and prejudicial exercise of saying, I plead the Fifth. But not in Arizona with this investigation. So the AG has said you're a target, and they've been subpoenaed to the grand jury. And, when you're subpoenaed to the grand jury, you got to come, except for this exception that applies throughout the system that you don't have to if you're a target. But it's a matter of practice, and I can't see any constitutional requirement for it. So the AG in this investigation is playing definite hardball. I've literally never heard of it, where they say, here's your subpoena, and they say, my guy's going to invoke the Fifth. Fine. See you at the grand jury. And they are actually being required to show up and invoke their rights. Now, you can see maybe an argument on appeal that will say, that's prejudicial, a violation of due process, but it's hard to see because, parties come in when they want to, the invocation of the Fifth Amendment right can happen in a grand jury from witnesses, for example, and the general practice of letting someone not show up, I don't think that's a Fifth Amendment right, a Sixth Amendment right. We'll see. You'll see some challenges to this, but I think this is hardball, but not unconstitutional hardball. Kind of the, very, characterization, the famous adage that prosecutors are always taught, that Justice Jackson, a former attorney general, said the prosecutor may strike hard blows, but that's how he said it then, may not strike foul ones. So is this a foul blow? That may in fact come up, but the immediate point is, man, they are playing it tough. And I think exerting maximum pressure on people to try to get pleas. And in this kind of situation where a number of electors do it, really one or two turn, everyone's done pretty much the same. And if one or two plead guilty and finger the rest of them, the case pretty much is packaged for clean resolution. So the AG is taking playing hardball to make that happen would be one way of looking at it. But so, it shows that not only is it heating up, but it's really become very confrontational. And we'll see what ensues, and if it actually helps provoke one of the defendants to plead and cooperate against their erstwhile, co-conspirators who, as I say, were very flagrant in just saying falsely and doing a fraudulent scheme on the heels of, hey, we are the true electors. So we'll follow that, and this very unusual feature of making him show up suggests that it's really a pretty bitter, pressureful investigation that is coming to its final stages before charging. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.